Let's step up the MCID, Mike O.D. And together we're known as the Too Rough Crew. Nice and easy. Sounds of the dub plate. Goes out to our ladies.
Before the drum and bass, before the jungle, there was UK hardcore. At the same time, due to the massive scale of the UK rave scene, many more raves started to become legal, as long as they were being supervised. Acid house sounds started changing, bringing other forms and styles. On the other hand, across the Atlantic, the US was experiencing over a decade of an underground sound and urban movement known as hip-hop.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance, so back on up,
cause you know we're about to rip shit up.
It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and like that and like this and Drake creep.
But let's go further back in time. After World War II, Great Britain encouraged mass immigration from countries of the British Empire for work and to help for the development of the nation. This included Jamaica. The Empire Wind Rush brought just under 500 Caribbean migrants, which some of them were ex-servicemen. They were picked up from Kingston, then brought to the port of Tilbury, giving them residency in Clapham and Brixton in London. Little did we know in the future of how much of an influence their culture impacted us. The Windrush generation not only brought dreams of prosperity, they brought style, music, and new sounds. In the late 60s, Pigmeat Markham is considered to be the first to introduce early elements of rapping.
Come November election time, you vote your way and I vote mine. Case is a tie and the money gets spent. Vote for Pigmeat Markham president.
Not only that, at the time, funk, R&B, and soul was popular in the US, creating legends such as Aretha Franklin, Benny King, James Brown, and many, many more.
So good, so good. Now I got you.
In the UK, our scenes were driven by a subculture of punks, mods, and skinheads. In Jamaica, there were sound systems. An integral part of life due to their block parties and bringing communities together. Therefore, this resulted in Jamaican migrants in the UK creating their own handcrafted sound systems and bringing it to our communities. This therefore resulted in legendary future British sound systems such as Sir Cox and Alternational, Channel 1, Jah Shaka, Abishanti, and many more, representing different parts of the UK. This brought the element of toasting, lyrical singing over dub instrumentals, for in the future resulted in MCs. These sound systems did sound clashes to prove who was the UK's champion sound. Council estates were filled with working class English and Caribbean families, and this included the same in working class jobs. By the 70s, young working class English and Jamaicans came together in music, and with that came the two-tone scene.
This time is coming like a ghost town.
All the clubs are being closed down.
This place is coming like a ghost town. Bands won't play no more. Too much fighting on the dance floor.
Now back in the US during the late 70s, DJs from New York such as Kool Herc from the Bronx realized when playing soul and funk to a crowd, the energy will peak up in the dance at the time of the drum break solo. So why is this all important? DJs of the time were always looking for sampled breaks, looking at the funk and soul tracks, breaks such as the funky drummer, the Apache, Fink, and many, many more. But there was one record from 1969. It was the one break in particular that impacted our scene the most, and this can be heard here. Amen Brother by the Winstons. This 6-second break had such an amazing impact on musical history. Little at the time did the band and drummer know that this drum break would be sampled and used by many, in effect creating subcultures and genres from this one break. So why is this in relation to the UK rave scene? In the 90s, British DJs and producers started taking the breaks influenced by the US's hip-hop, fused the sounds together with acid and house, creating UK hardcore breakbeats. DJs brought this to the rave scene, changing the sounds, paving the way for new creativity and artists. In relation, this is why the understanding and importance of sound system culture had been an influence in UK music, even taking it back to the acid house raves, such creating free parties, placing sound systems in disused warehouses, air hangars and fields, getting shut down by police, rebelling against the system, and bringing love and unity, similar to the scenes back in Jamaica.
Moment everybody was one. Love, prosperity, be with us all. Jah, Rastafari.
He was able to do that. He was able to bring people together in that way. The same half uptown, half downtown, half black, half white. It's that marriage of everything. He just embodied it all in one person.
Code, tell me something. You can't play bass. You can't play drum.
British rappers started putting their touch on the dance scene. The UK breakbeat sound was fresh and new, thanks to the US hip hop. Artists such as Rebel MC and Ragged Twins started to incorporate their Jamaican influences, fusing it with dance. Ragged Twins and Rebel MC are considered the pioneers in the beginning of jungle from the hardcore scene, creating a path for more ragged influences. By 1992, more producers started experimenting. This included the distinctive bass lines used, rooted from dub and reggae. The scene grew big, introducing new DJs such as Kenny Ken, Nicky Finn, Nicky Black Market, and many, many more. MCs now start to demonstrate their talent on the scene by bringing the Jamaican influences of toasting, the rhyming on rhythms and amping up the crowds, creating jungle legends such as Tenafly, Hyper D, Skibbity, and many more. The scene started growing, causing mass attention, and this included the media. This was due to some of the junglist lyrics used, as they believed it glamorized violence.
The reality which an individual seeks to portray through his or her music, then I cannot see how it can be a negative thing. They feed a mainstream, predominantly white fantasy about the lifestyles and the primary definers of blackness in Britain, the way in which young black men are seen to be running wild. And if, by feeding into this fantasy, artists embracing the so-called gangster rave genre can make money, then that is deeply subversive.
Jungle raves were packed full of people in iconic venues such as Club Labyrinth and the Sanctuary Music Arena. They saw the impact of the scene, later creating an iconic event known as Jungle Fever. Yeah, one thing that stood out jungle raves was the display of professional on-stage dancers reflecting the hype and atmosphere of the scene.
Wicked, original, well big up. All the original jungle is massive. The original dancehall jungle is there. General Levy alongside the MB. The world is in trouble. I will tell a murderer. It goes, I am the incredible general.
Incredible by MB and General Levy became commercial, reaching the top 10 at the time, and with great success.
Yo, mad the whole of them, I spin them like a windmill. You talk for them, don't tell them how we got the skill. Dance gone nice and let's spend name on the bill. And the girls see you with vices like them dreams can't fulfill. Pass out with them in the pass out with them in the cold, like with them in the jail.
Allowing the opportunity to perform on TV shows such as the iconic Top of the Pops.
Incredible. Mr. Levy, on the mind, the general, the general. Keep up in the master, wicked, original. Minimum skin, minimum.
And with that, Original Nutter by Shy FX and UK Apache managed to reach the top 40 in the UK charts, demonstrating the potential of the jungle scene's success in the UK mainstream.
You never know the article, me say them in a jungle. Well, you never know Shy FX, man, big in a jungle. Well, you never know UK Apache, big in a jungle. We tell everybody, watch it now, man. Me a the nutter, original, man, nutter, original, man, nutter, original, man, nutter, original, man. Me a the nutter, me better than the bad boy, cause they don't fear that.
So how's it inspired future generations? No doubt, the classic tracks Incredible and Original Nutter will always be considered iconic tunes from the jungle era, and this can be thanked to the mainstream exposure and therefore will last a lifetime, thus still to this day creating havoc at raves. However, the old school junglists will always have their own unique favourite tune. The jungle sound isn't as predominant as it was in the early 90s, however, its influence can always still be heard.
Feeling like I need some room, feeling like I need some space, got to find something soon, take me to outer space, I just wanna light up the world, I just wanna light up the world.
The scene influenced artists such as Benny Page, Ed Solo, Serial Killers, and many, many more, creating fusions of raga, D&B, and jungle.
Remember the words of prophecy. As some boy run, come
The UK still holds jungle events and is still going strong. Not only that, artists from the scene are still performing to this day at raves and festivals, and they're still having that opportunity to perform all over the world. If in interest, check out Fax Cool's YouTube channel. They promote new ragga, DnB and jungle music, having producers from all over the world influenced by this scene, and is one of my favourite channels to come by. One last important note, DJ Eastman, one of the founders of Kool FM, created the name Jungle Fever because of the film by Spike Lee. It focused on the issues of mixed relationships about black and white. Rave culture was doing more for race relations in the UK at the time than anything else. Similar back to the time when working classes of white and black came together on the dance floors during the 60s. The jungle scene will forever be a crucial moment in the UK underground scene. Future genres from the UK will stem off this. Out of all of this, we have to remember where it all started, and this was from sound system culture. And without it, we wouldn't have the musical styles we have today. Next time on that UK sound, the jungle scene was still thriving until the mid-90s. Alongside the same time, during jungle's birth, other DJs and producers used the same elements from UK breakbeats, but without the raga influence. This would impact the world's music scene. We will also focus on the importance of MCs and pirate radio. This is the sound of drum and bass.
To the love of Jah, Rastafari save me. And to the love of Jah, Rastafari save me. Does the book by the cover boy think before you talk? No locks upon my head, but me a Rasta in my heart. Enough things I've been to long time I was lost. Jaja, show me the light and took me out of the dark. That's why every day I have to praise for the eye and give thanks and praise unto the Rastafari. What is my birthday, the 7th of July? To London to the double dead by the night, 'cause I'm born again. No more standing in the lion's den, no. I'm born again. No more standing in the lion's den, no. To the love of Jah, Rastafari save me. And to the love of Jah, Rastafari save me.
Fuck off back to your own country, you jungle bunny, and you.
This is my fucking country, lady.
Come make we celebrate life. From you have a roof over your head and you asleep in a bed. You now worry where you asleep at night. I told you this, so let me tell you this twice. Come make we celebrate life. Even though you're homeless and have a whole heap of stress, just give thanks you are alive. The Almighty gave the health and strength to survive.